Good afternoon, fight fans. Afternoon, evening, early evening, we'll call it, right? You know, some
Wherever you are.
Exactly. That's true. We might have.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Listening from Japan. Who knows? Tyler might be getting himself ready, Mr. King. But Pride Rules Podcast brought to you by 80K Fightwear, brought to you by Madama Jiu-Jitsu, brought to you by Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, 2-minute warning group. As always, you can find us everywhere that there's an outlet for listening to cool stuff, pretty much. So iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, you name it, we're there. Tommy, what is going on? We have a bunch of barn burners to discuss today.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I've been waiting for this card for so long. My only fear is that it doesn't live up to the hype.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's a wasted $60 for people. That's my biggest fear. It just because these cards that have this background of, you know, it's on paper an amazing event, just end up being
That's a good one.
You know,
it really is, yeah.
And then you have, you know, the event last week, which wasn't on everybody's radar apparently.
I guess not.
Ended up being an amazing event.
This is true.
We'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see.
It's like Christmas, getting fired up for Christmas, and then suddenly it's like, wait a second, I had a bad year. And
you got socks and underwear.
Yeah, exactly. But hey,
because you were a douche and your parents didn't get you what you wanted, or Santa Claus, I should say. If my kids are watching.
You just ruined it for half the plan. Oh, that's terrible. But yeah, actually, I'm telling. This is, you know, we're being spoiled. I love it. I love where we're at in this wonderful sport. I mean, where we can go from an event last year to now. This is, you know, and I like this pay-per-view more than the International Fight Week one, or the one a couple weeks ago. I wasn't too much of a fan. I think this one's a lot more of a stack card, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, there were supposed to be a lot of stacked fights on this card. Wasn't GSP and Bisping supposed to be on this one too?
That's never happening. That's like a Sasquatch sighting.
I know, but isn't that what this was? It was targeted for? Was this one?
Yeah. You know what? Your bad feeling could still come to fruition. I'm telling you, they weighed in, right? But Jones could very well beat up a pregnant woman with his bare hands. I don't know. There's nothing.
Jones looked good. You know what? I mean, they both look good. Jones looked good. You could tell he was working with Lou Giordano because, I mean, he shredded.
Jones looks like a transformer up there. Like,
I know.
His abs had abs. I was just like, Jesus Christ. I don't think, you know, like at first I looked at, like when I did a quick look at the picture, I was like, Jesus, they both look sucked out. But then I looked at the actual footage. I went back and watched like the video clips. Jones looks fucking jacked through the roof for this fight. And I don't like how, I never, you know, nobody's ever going to really like how DC looks at a weigh-in. I mean, I like it because it gives me hope. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be.
It's a regular guy look.
It absolutely is. He's what is it? The black fedor? I'll call it that. Not what it's really called in some circles because I'm not.
Blador?
Racist. Yeah. But holy smokes, he's, you know, and I love how there's no towels involved. This time, there's nothing. California.
That was the stupidest thing ever. That was so stupid.
Sweet Lord.
That was stupid.
It was almost, I don't know. We could go into that like super at length, but like.
Well, I love the people that were trying to prove that it worked when they're putting their hands on the sink. Well, yeah, no shit. You're going to be able to lift a little bit of weight off because your hands are on an immovable object, not a fucking towel.
It's taking off of the fucking, you know. And what I love is like a professional weight cutter, because that's what he's been. He's a Olympic caliber wrestler.
Yeah,
he's been cutting weight forever. A professional weight cutter finds somehow to make it not even believable. When he cuts, it's like, wait a second, bro.
Oh my God! You mean he couldn't lose like, what was it, 1.5 pounds?
In like 2 minutes.
I probably shit that first thing in the morning.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I haven't had to cut weight in years. I could probably shit 1.5 pounds out. But anyway, we could talk on that forever. Let's get to breaking down this card, starting with the FS1.
Yes. No, it's actually, I think I'm seeing, well, it's FXX. So we don't want our listeners to go to the wrong channel. Search it up. All right, like a gentleman, like I do, whatever the
Oh,
hell it is. Yeah, it's the FXX. I guess they have marathons of The Simpsons, and they have fights every Saturday, I guess. But
okay.
good for them. But Andre Feely versus Calvin Kattar, and I don't even know what Kattar looks like because on the UFC website he's he's Noob Saibot. He's the black fighter of death. I don't know. He's a ninja. Who do you got, Tommy?
Yeah, I don't know too much about Qatar. I know Feely. I know he's a tough dude.
Yeah.
So just based on that, I'm just gonna go with Andre Feely.
Based on neck tattoo, I'm gonna go on. Dude, you're all in. I was discussing this with my girl the other day. You're all in with a neck tattoo. Whatever you've decided to do with your life that you think you can get away with a neck tattoo on, you got to double down. So
You could probably work at Walmart.
Yeah, but then fight in the parking lot, which is where Tanya Ebinger, got like 4 of her last 5 wins. Anyway, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I got to go with Philly. I mean, Qatar, the country, is having a really rough go of it recently, and I think Calvin Qatar, the fighter, is not going to do much better. He's I swear, like they're getting blockaded, I think. But no, that's a United Arab Emirates. Somebody check memory geopolitics. But Calvin is not really doing too much of anything I think that Feely hasn't seen. I think Feely knows that this is a fight that he's supposed to win, and if he's had a kind of an up and down career in the UFC. He's fought some tough dudes. I love him. Like you said, he's super tough. I don't see this really being something that Andre takes lightly. I think he's going to be like, yo, I'm going to put this guy away, and I'm going to continue to try to get back up this ladder. So I got Feely as well. Plus, I know what he looks like. So that's a big plus. I swear. It's like somebody has.
He's fighting the shadow.
He's fighting like the unlockable fighter. You know what I mean? Like it's the one guy. It's like, it's a bonus round. It's in the FXX card. I don't get it. So moving on, I'm excited. This is, I can't believe this is a prelim fight. It very well could be on another card. It could be on the main event, in my opinion, because I'm a super fan of Brian Ortega. That'll probably tell you where my picks will go, but we'll let you go first here. We have Brian Ortega coming off of a pretty significant layoff off of that freak injury versus number 9 ranked Renato Moicano. What do you got?
Man, this one's tough because they're both undefeated. Mm-hmm. They're both tough as shit.
Yeah.
This is one of those that's going to come down to that one little mistake. Because I don't see this ending in a finish. I think it's going to go the distance.
I gotcha.
You know what? I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to go with Renato.
It's not. I don't think it's an against the grain pick. Let me tell you, bro. You know why? Because I think, with how evenly matched these guys are, this is one of those ones where like the rankings are not horrendous. This is one of those.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in the UFC, you're like, who the hell is filling this out? It's a bunch of monkeys with typewriters. They're making Shakespeare, and then they're pumping out UFC rankings. But,
well, they had Kelvin ranked at number, what was it, 9 in middleweight?
Bro,
how?
We have another fighter on the card today, Ozdemir, that, he carried Dana's bags, and he's number 4 or something. Like, he kind of came out of nowhere. I feel like he's kind of doing stuff on the slide. He's like, yo, I'll wash this money for you. Yeah, let me move up a couple of notches. But I think this is a very evenly matched fight, and I think that the layoff is not going to help Brian Ortega as much as I love him. Also, like, really quick side note, do you remember how this guy got injured in the first place? You remember the story with his injury? Like, that always shocked me when I read it a couple months ago. He was rolling with, I think, Heron, and Heron did a number on his arm. Got him in a nasty Kimura or omoplata, and just like bust this bashed their shoulder, I was like, wait a second, that sounds, it was like a Gracie challenge, but it was his own student. I don't know what's going on there. I think he's still part of the camp, but I don't know. I think that layoff is not going to help him at all. So I have to. I'm going. I love T-City. Triangles are some of my favorite subs. So, but I think Hinato it's going to be a ground out victory. Plus, you're starting the trend early, Tommy, with picking not only who but how. So I got to step my game up again. You're already like, yo, it's going to be a decision. It's going to be Jesus. You got the crystal ball. You're reading.
Yeah, I don't see this. I just don't see this one going to a finish. I see them wanting to. I don't want to say one trying to get over the other more in the stand-up. Mm-hmm. I think Ortega's going to want to get it to the ground, try and get it to the ground early, and I think Renato's going to have enough to keep stuff in the takedowns. So I think it's just going to be kind of back and forth that way.
I gotcha. And and on a side note, these damn fight kits, I can't I don't know what it is about the two of them. Like they just look so bland on both of these because I think there's like mirror images of each other. One just got slightly shorter shorts. No, I'm not checking out the crotches. I'm checking out the fight kits, you fucks. But like these, right?
No judgment here. I'm not Donald Trump. I don't care what you wear, what you do.
You're not tweeting out saying I can't call fights. Thanks, man. Well, that gets that one out of the way because we are super excited. We got friend of the show, former guest, extended teammate of TRT, Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling, coming in
Madama, baby.
Being on a tear. Yeah, exactly.
Madama. Team Sarah.
Beautiful. Dude's on a tear. He's going to be matching up against probably the owner of one of the worst tattoos in all of combat sports. I don't know what is going on that poor bastard's chest. Henan Barao.
Who?
Is coming up. Henan Barao. Come on, man. Chupacabra himself.
Oh, you mean USADA Barao?
Oh, no. Jesus Christ. Hey,
that's who you mean.
I'm not throwing it. And it's good lighting on this picture on UFC.com. He's looking okay.
He looks like a dick.
He's looking surprised that he made weight. It's weird. Like he's looking like, whoa.
You know what he looks like? He looks like when you have like a baby in a bathtub and you put their hair up in a point, like Martin Short, Short in that Saturday Night Live skit.
Edward Grimley, is that where is?
Yes.
Isn't that who that is? Oh my Lord.
Yes. That's what he looks like in that photo.
The plaid shirt and some really high pants, some high water.
I mean, dude, I can't stand this guy. I never could stand him. I don't know what it is. I know at one point he was an amazing fighter, but then USADA came in and he got a little bit smaller.
Something happened, right? It's just magic. I think.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like they pulled a duck out of a hat. The fuck
he pulled something out of him, and it wasn't a duck.
That's it might have been duck supplements, right? Like they just thought to make ducks able to fly for
Henan D-Ball Barao. That should have been his name.
Oh man, but you know what gets me like really? I just can't. Is that like so many people changed when that came in, and there's still folks in some circles. They're like, I really like that are legit. I don't know what happened. What do you mean you don't know what happened? Right? There was better testing, and then suddenly these guys' physiques changed overnight. You're trying to tell me, like you tell me you can't look at a old picture of Dennis Seaver, right? I love beating this guy up because fuck it. But then you look at a new picture of Dennis Seaver. That's
Seaver.
That's what I'm saying. It's like pre-Nazi experiment, and then after they lost the war, and they didn't have science or a currency or running water or roofs over their heads. Dresden miracle right there. But good Lord, how do you not? Even non-sports people.
I mean, I know he was fighting at 155. His whole career, but what was he cutting from to get to 55? Now he's fighting at 45.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I mean, I do get it.
Exactly. There's no way
the needles went bye-bye.
Yeah, he can't keep on the same mass that he's used to. Also, something with that camp and the cutting, just like in general, I think even on, I know that there's adverse effects from the USADA stuff. Yes, I'm almost pretty much outright saying that, yeah, that camp was nuts. But like the way they cut weight as well used to be so crazy. You know, and we have another crazy weight cutter on here up the card. You know, we can talk about her travails to make weight, but Hennon, man, I don't know. And plus that tattoo, he's making all sorts of bad life decisions. Who do you got? That tattoo.
It's not even a question.
Really? The tattoo?
It's not even a question who I'm going to pick. I mean, Hennon's still going to be tough. And this is probably Aljamain's biggest hurdle that he's going to have to get across.
Biggest name, too. I'm excited, too, for the name.
Yeah. You know, and just like when we interviewed him, you would think that this is something that's going to shoot you up the rankings and get you close to a title shot. Even he's saying no. He goes, I'm probably 2 fights away. So after this fight, knock on wood, as long as he wins.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as he wins, I'm very interested to see who they're going to give him next. Because really, who else in that division is anybody talking about other than the top 3 guys?
I'm excited. He's going to be knocking.
I mean, are they going to give him John Dodson? I think that would be almost like a step back from Hennon Brow?
Name-wise, for sure. I agree with you there, like name-wise. What's quizzical to me, well, not quizzical in that, judging on their past performances, but like, I'm glad Aljamain's up there at number 8, but does beating a number 13, other than name recognition, do much for him? And he mentioned it, like you said. He knew. I mean, this is one of those things where he's staying humble, he's staying in the pocket mentally. He knows that he's got to put this guy away and hopefully put him out emphatically. That would be the best thing, because Barrow's still somewhat durable, almost too durable for his own good. Like some of his fights, you see him, he's taking a beating, and you're like, oh fuck, like what are you doing?
Well, he's tough to take down. That's the one thing with Hennon Barrow. He's tough to take down.
He's got springs,
and his leg kicks, and his leg kicks are rough. So I mean.
A bunch of
Aljamain's got good enough wrestling, and I'm sure he's 100% confident on the ground. I mean, when you have Matt Serra teaching you jiu-jitsu,
it's pretty much
your confidence should be pretty high.
You can't really get too much better. You can get as good, and some, and even Serra will be like, yeah, there's some savages I respect, but that's top of the heap, man. Like if you're writing a camp like, hey, I want to learn ground from XYZ, Matt's got to be up there, and kicking too. Let's not forget Aljamain. He's no slouch.
No.
When he changed up his approach, but he's no slouch when it comes to kicking, man. So I wouldn't want to see him get into a leg kick battle with anybody from Novo now, just because it's like playing into Lex Luthor's plans. As Eminem said.
Yeah.
But I think Aljamain takes this one, and I hope he calls somebody out when he wins. I really like, because it seems like that's the thing to do.
The only person I see him calling out is Dodson, just because they don't like each other.
Wouldn't that be? I could see that as being an amazing anchor for like an FS1 or a Fox card.
Yeah, but would that help him in the rankings if he just got done beating number 13? What is John Dodson ranked? Is he even ranked in that division?
He has to be, I think, at this point. But what I would think is like the excitement. If he could bring out a fight out of Dodson, more of a fight than what matched up with Wineland could happen, then I could see that. Now Aljamain's not here to pitter patter, which is why I love him.
But don't you think a fight with Dodson might be like one of those trap fights, because Dodson knows how to get on the judges' sides by, running circles around the ring.
Stealing rounds. Like they call him the magic man. You know why? Because he magically does a couple things.
Well, yeah, because he's lightning fast. He'll hit you with a combination and then run. And then you spend the whole fight chasing him.
And not for nothing, I respect all combat artists. We both do. But he knows how to sell what he delivers. Do you get me? I know you do. Like he looks like when he hits you, he's so fast, and then he runs away from you. But when he does hit you, he knows how to sell it almost. I'm not saying he's like the Taekwondo guy where he hits you, raises his hand. He's like, oh, and his whole crowd. But I'm just saying, he does know how to really cater to the judges' scoring, which, you and I both would agree that shouldn't be a factor. I think it's bullshit. Judges need to get better. We talked about that.
It is bullshit, but he knows how to do it.
Play the game.
You know, I mean,
play the game.
So that's the only thing that would scare me about that. But I mean, other than that, Aljamain just needs to get this big win, and I think he'll do it. He's got good momentum behind him right now.
Yeah,
and and it's funny, with him. Like, even when he comes up short in a fight, he always seems to be getting better and better in each fight, no matter what the outcome is. He's better. Like, different things that he struggled in the last fight, he fixed, and it's working for him in his next fight. It's all coming together for him. I still wish he would get that one back against Mr. Cupcake. Oh, I would love to see that fight again. Because I can't stand that guy.
and that was, like, nobody can. I think you're not in the minority with people who. No. And it's not even just because, everybody wants to get with Misha Tate, apparently, myself excluded.
I don't see it, but
I don't. The two of us are both on that whole, But aside from that, he's just kind of a douche nozzle. So I hope Aljamain is able to somehow, kill him, but in a way that makes sense for him. If it's a step back, if it's not a good money fight, if it's not propelling his career, then no, they can settle it, in a backroom parking lot.
Because I don't see people caring about Aljamain and Dotson, to be honest with you.
Not really. So you think like more heat could be brought up because Caraway has that supposed W, and then there's also enough of a heel where that could you know what, if whatever propels this kid's star forward, I'll get behind, because I have a good feeling. I get feelings too, Tommy. Don't be the only one who gets hunches. I have a good feeling that he's gonna do some work. He's gonna show off some skill. He's gonna get the W, because that's what he's putting together. Before, it was never a case of like not having the skill or not really doing enough to win. If you're not a retarded judge, I will use that word, because some of the judging in his fights have been absolutely fucking abysmal. But like, it's really a case of presenting it in a way that other, like, judging can read in a weird sense. Like, hey, let me present this in a way you guys understand. And he figured that out. He wasn't too proud to do that. I think he has a great coaching staff behind him. I'm not kissing ass. I just think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a good coaching staff behind him to make negatives into positives. I hope he kills this guy. I really do. And then I hope he gets honestly, like, and I hope he gets a really good, juicy steak of a fight afterwards. So we both got Sterling. I think we're well in agreement on that point. So now the anchor for this FXX prelim, we have number 15 ranked Jason the Kid Knight. I think Hick Diaz is my preferred nickname for the man, because I think it's more appropriate. Big time and son of a bitch. And Ricardo the Bully Lamas. This one's got craziness written all over it. I'll let you get into it, though. What do you got?
Even though he stood us up on the Fighter, the Writer, and the Fans podcast, I had to leave a Sweet 16 party and go do a podcast in my car, thinking that I was going to be talking to Mr. Jason Knight. Even though you big-timed us and didn't show up, I'm going to pick you to win this fight just because of the momentum he's got behind him.
Yo, and plus, I remember how stoked and, like, I don't think you're gonna get mad for me saying this, like, fanboying out that you were, and I was as well, because it was Jason fucking Knight that we're gonna talk to. Like, god damn it, he's an animal. But so you got him taking it against Ricardo Lamas.
I think it's gonna be a sub.
Yeah, what, like off of a weird scramble? He's gonna put some crazy business on him.
I have a feeling he's gonna either. Oh, what am I saying? I'm thinking it's gonna be. I'm gonna say head and arm choke.
I was thinking
he's gonna bust out his Chris Weidman impression and he's gonna throw in a head and arm choke.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I tried to throw that in a couple people after I saw it. All right, I'm gonna be the first. Because Weidman, had a like a specific way to put it on, because he was on his tiptoes. He was He wasn't walking out as much. You know, we can get into technical details later. We both know it was his brand of head and arm. But
I didn't see it coming, to be honest with you.
I
didn't see it coming.
When he posted in that way around my man's head, that's the only thing I was like, because it seemed like he wanted to go there. But I thought he was just going to ride it out and beat the shit out of him. Like continue to stay in good position because Calvin's dangerous, but the ball's on him to go in and finish. Right? He's like, "Fuck it, I'm not going to play it safe."
Yeah, Calvin was trying to answer the phone, but nobody was home.
No, he tried to get the hip up too. Right? He tried to throw himself, because he was like trying to do a hybrid, like answer the phone and like grab the leg. He was trying to see if his leg could maybe make it. I'm like,
what that would have done, I have no idea, but
it would have gotten him put to sleep, I think, because then Weidman would have been like, really? I'm being nice because we're friends. I could be a dick and walk the circle, walk the clock and go to fucking at least 1 or 2. He was at 5 and trying to choke him. If he goes to 1 or 2, Calvin turns into a white dude. He just gets all the brown things. Jesus. Anyway, but this fight, I'm telling I know Lamas is number 3. He's had some great wins. What he did with Benavidez, I get it. I don't know what it is, man. I've never been super high on him. I think he has great tools. I really would never see him as the champion in this division ever. And I think he's getting to that point where, like what you said last week in one of the fights, back 9. I think he's getting to that point somewhere. So I too.
I think I said that about Natal.
Yeah, and were you wrong? Are you wrong? No, you're not. Usually, you don't make a habit of being of talking out of your ass. Honestly, like that's why you're doing what you're doing, brother. So, right? Like, shit, you're not playing golf. But Jason, I think, he's 15. He's ranked 15th. I think, again, this is one of those spots where the rankings are rankings are fugazi. Let's be serious. And I was thinking guillotine because I could just see it off of like a weird scramble where Lamas says, good to his nickname. He goes, "I'm going to bully you." But I think Jason pulls it out. He's a tough kid. I think he's got more of a ceiling than Lamas. So I'm also gonna take Jason. I'm gonna take it by guillotine though.
He's just coming into this with a lot of momentum and a lot of hype, and he's not he believes in his hype, but not like what was his name from Bellator that got choked out in like 13 seconds.
Oh Jesus! Thanks, man.
Aaron Pico.
Thank you. I was one of the biggest proponents on the show about Mr. Pico. You gotta.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, like you said, he started believing his own hype, and sometimes things happen. This guy believes his hype, but he takes it in a totally different way.
I think
like a Connor, but he's like a Connor, but likable.
Yeah, which is a big difference in with how you view the two of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree. I think he's gonna take it, and I think this is a great opportunity for him. I don't think that's gonna be lost on Jason. Maybe big time just because he's in a hyperbaric chamber trying to train some senzu beans. I don't fucking know, right? I mean, this
is another one where if he wins, I'm really interested to see who they're going to give him next. Because if he beats, what's this guy ranked 3rd? Lamas?
Number 3, bro. Yeah, number 3.
If he beats him, how do you give Jason Knight anybody that's ranked like 7th or 8th after that? How?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Not really feasibly. The only way you do that is by then the UFC brass admitting that the rankings are full of shit. You know what I mean? Like if you then go, yeah, he beat number 3, but now he's gonna have a real tough test with number 8, sir.
Yeah,
hold on, like what's going on? But what's funny is to dovetail on your point, who he gets after this if he does bust out a win. It's still a big if. Ricardo's not a corpse by any means, but if he does beat him, you're gonna see how the UFC either likes him or doesn't really. And how they match him up. As sad as it is to really say that a sport is based on, clicks and likes and whatnot. We know it is. At least the UFC. So you're gonna see if
it's how many Twitter followers you have or how many times your shit gets retweeted.
1,000%, man. He might have to go on a Second Amendment rant to get following up in order to then, back him. Hey, fucking Hick Diaz play to that, right? Nick Diaz is getting called out every which way but loose still,
Another one, like I've always said, he hasn't had a fight since Christ was crucified.
Since Jesus left Chicago, bro, he hasn't really had a fight. I swear to God, the 70s, it seems. And I love them. I mean, Gomi, the Go-Go, whatever. But I think Jason takes this, and you're right. The biggest question is going to be where he does go after that. But we can chop that up on Monday. If he does win, we can kind of go like matches.
Yeah, if we get to talk about it on Monday.
I'm telling you, I'm super excited with Senor Gordon. Dude,
he's got a. We'll talk about that at the end of the show because I want to throw something out for him at the end of the show.
Absolutely. Okay. Good. But I'm just I'm fanboying.
Oh yeah, I know.
We've already had him on, but I'm still like, oh shit.
It doesn't matter. It's the first repeat guest,
and such a gangster. So now with that being said, the FXX prelims are all squared away. Now we start with the curtain jerker for the main pay-per-view card. So hopefully Lamas and Knight is a crazy war, so it gets enough, casuals to buy this because I want to see everybody on this card get paid. We have Manoa and Ozdemir starting things off. Where do we see this one going, Tom?
I think Manoa's going to get knocked out.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Super
I think he's going to get knocked out.
That's amazing. Jesus. And is it because of the short
second
shorts?
Round?
Is it because of the
No, he's just I don't know what it is with him. I'm not like I don't hate him. I don't like him either.
Yeah. It's like I don't think
he's going to get dropped like early on in the second round.
He's ranked number 3 because Anthony Johnson decided to go sell weed somewhere. That's where I have like this entire division.
This guy shit talk. Yeah, but this guy shit talks on Twitter like he's ranked number 1.
But that's how you get a job, right? Like, I mean, if I'm employed and you tell me that I just got a shit talk on Twitter to get promotions, bonuses, and Christmas toys for my kids, guess who's shit talking on Twitter, Tommy? I'm gonna be out there like crazy, but I don't think Manoa's he's got crazy hands. He can hit hard, but that
only gets you so far.
I just see Houston Alexander in a bigger frame. Maybe not as bad, not as chinny, I guess, but I think it's just the lack of depth in the division that has us talking about this guy, where he's going. And I have Volkan winning as well, but like I also think number 5 for Volkan Ozdemir. What?
Well, see, now it's funny that you mentioned that about the lack of depth in the division. Mm-hmm. I was watching the Contender on Tuesday. Nice. Carl Robinson, shout out Jersey. Carl Robinson wins with 3 fucking short elbows in a clinch. I've never seen that before in my life. Knocked the guy out.
Hammers, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. He's a light heavyweight. Dana White's walking down the hallway with him and wants him to drop to 185.
Why?
You have another light heavyweight. Now you want him to drop to 185. John Jones is talking about going up to heavyweight to fight fucking Brock Lesnar, which I could totally see that fight happening if he wins tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So you're just depleting the friggin' light heavyweight division even more. I mean, the NFL and all these other, like basketball, they're all taking the guys that are around this weight because they're paying them big money.
Yeah.
Your division is hurting. So the guy that fought on your show at light heavyweight, you're going to have him drop to 185. I get it. It's not that far of a drop, but why wouldn't you just see what he does at light heavyweight?
Plus, not for nothing, but there's already enough of a rack of killers at 185. it's not as though 185 is short on big names that could all potentially be champions. Right. I mean, we just spoke about Chris Weidman. Jacare is, still he's back in the moat, lurking, trying to figure out what the fuck happened to him. Called Robert Whitaker, but he's not. I don't think out of it. I don't think he's announced retirement, even though he's probably sad as shit. But right. I would be too. Like I had him. You can pull up my audio. I was like, no chance, Whitaker. I think he played that to get motivated, but. 185 is full of killers. I mean, you still have Bisping, who again manages to win. I'm not sold on him as a champion, but again, he plays the game. He plays it well. He holds on. He's really good at holding on to that belt. God bless him.
He's like Connor,
right? That's 1,000%. He's really he's not defending too much. Although he did actually defend against a 900-year-old Dan Henderson,
and still lost. He lost that fucking fight.
Really,
let's not.
He did lose that fight. I'm sorry, but let me tell you, I know that sometimes this is not a good barometer for a fight, but look at how they looked at the end of the fight.
Yeah.
All right. It looked like Henderson looked like he was in a rough training session at Team Quest because those guys went hard, like the shooter box guys back in the day. And what's his face? Bisping looked like Vanderlei after fighting Dan Henderson back in the day.
Bisping looked like GSP after he fought Johnny Big Rig.
Yeah, and people were saying
that's what he looked like.
Yeah, I mean, and that was such a robbery that it made Big Rig, decide that he was a fucking Bobby Flay. So, right? Weird career choices, man. Just stay in your lane. LeVar Ball had it right, but. Why you would want to eat your young? I mean, again, go at 205 for your Jersey's finest there, and try it out. Right? Like you're doing decent. You did some witchcraft in the clinch, and knocked him out with I said cannons, but in reality, like you said, it was short shots, and you're just like, oh shit.
I couldn't believe he dropped him. Like, was this guy that he fought dropped in training camp like 6 times, like Forrest Griffin was when he fought Anderson Silva and got knocked out by a jab?
Yo, his chin is actually the downy snuggle bear. It's like his chin is actually like the little beige bear.
The guy's a kickboxer. I mean, that is who you should be putting in the light heavyweight division. That's his division. Why would you have him drop?
Your blood. If anything, you want some of the guys that are somewhat on the fence at heavyweight, maybe dipping a toe in 205. You never know. You want to, like you said, though, the most of the talent.
Like somebody had said. I read somewhere that they're trying to make Weidman.
What? Weidman move up? Why? He's got unfinished business at 185, and he's putting motherfuckers away there. You already did the video. So we don't have to go too much in depth, but no, honestly, but at 185, I think that's where for me, it's a matter of you dance with the broad that got you there until she kicks you, out of the Chevy. Like just do what you're good at, fight in the weight that you're good at. We saw with what's his face, Pettis, right? Jumping back and forth between weight divisions. It's not always the answer. Like everybody thinks, hey, you got that weird wrestler.
Well, Pettis would have been fine at 45 if he was just able to make the weight.
And
couldn't make the weight. Yeah, he just couldn't make the weight.
Yeah, and but I don't know. Like remember Clay Guida dropping down, and it wasn't the answer. Maybe different types of training camps would have been, or cutting your hair. I don't fucking know, but it's not always the case that dropping down and weight. You don't have to have that wrestler's mentality that I'm gonna get as light as I can, and then that'll be the panacea. I'll fuck everybody up. So fight at 205. That being said, this fight it's number 3 and number 5, bro. Like you look at the rest of the light heavyweight division, they're all,
this fight should have been on the FXX card.
Yeah, hell yeah, it should have been. And I would have loved to see Sterling versus Burrell, or even Lamas versus
how
Knight.
is that? Like, I understand that they want people to watch the FXX card. I understand that, but these two guys, like Jimmy Manuwa, can generate the same amount of views as Aljamain and Burrell can.
No,
Aljamain had him.
yeah, exactly.
They deserve to be on the main card.
Yeah, Burrell was. Remember, like I don't have enough of a short memory where I forget when Burrell was the boogeyman of that goddamn division, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he was undefeated for fucking 8,000 years. The dude had a Methuselah record. He was beating everybody. He had a remember, like he was running through a bunch of folks. Some of them could have been, like fake people. I don't know, fake news. But he was putting up numbers. Usada was not still in the picture. We've covered that.
Right.
But like the name value that a Barao brings, I don't think he's fallen that far out of favor. I think Aljamain's on the come up, as our man Carl would say, right? He's on the come up. And I think he's got a better base of folks. I think they're so grasping for stars in 205 because they're not stupid, bro. At the top of the card, right at the with the headliner, you have a situation where, like you said, one of them could win and go fight Brock Lesnar. If that happens, Cormier is gonna fucking take his ball and go home, or maybe he jumps up as long as Kane's not in the title contention there. So you could lose how many people? And Anthony Johnson's doing whatever the hell he's doing. He's trying to be fucking Nino Brown there or whatever. But like. So you just there's such few bodies at 205. I think they're trying. But I agree. I would have preferred seeing Aljamain on this because also Jones is one of the better pay-per-view draws still when he fights. When he doesn't,
Well, I think they're looking. I think that the way that they set this up, they're thinking there's going to be a big knockout in the first two opening fights of the card.
I got you. Okay. So, yeah, because then you have Lawler Cerrone. And also just to dovetail, do you think that they're looking at potentially a contender out of a 3 and a 5? Right? And if it's an emphatic victory, you could theoretically come and say, hey, listen.
Do any of those two move the needle for you fighting either DC or John Jones?
I think they both get fucking mauled fighting anybody.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like it's just not. It'd be like I heard this in Bible school, right? Didn't Isaac sacrifice a goat or something?
This is like that division right now is like when you go into a small tournament and there's only 3 people in your division, so no matter what, somebody gets a medal. You know what I mean? That's what the light heavyweight division reminds me of.
And as long as, but then you got the fucks that are like, yo, I got bronze. I'm like, well, how many people were in your division, sir? Doesn't matter. I got bronze.
Exactly.
Right? Or you see him on the podium, and it's just him, and he's got a silver medal on. I'm like, hold on a second.
Like that's what
that's
what the division reminds me of right now, because I mean can you name anybody else in the rankings in the light heavyweight division other than John Jones and DC?
I think Shogun is still ranked, and Shogun's got his AARP card. Okay, they're bringing him in to vote on the healthcare bill. All right, he's not a citizen, but he's 900 years old, so they figure that he's got something to say about healthcare in this country after a while. Like, he might be a citizen. Respect to Shogun. But what you had the miles on the people in this division. I think Tank Abbott could come back, cut to 205 miraculously. I think he'd be ranked number like 14.
If he loses a couple more teeth, he might be able to do it.
You never, bro.
Might be able to drop that weight.
He might have a fake foot at this point. You never know. He's had a rough life, all right? Diabetes might have taken something from him. At which point, he might make the 205 limit. So it might be a blessing in disguise.
I don't know. They got to do something, man. They got to do something.
They should. What they really should do is try to like absorb a division from somewhere else. But where the hell are you going to go? I think there's the thinness in that division. They're starting to feel a little bit of the pinch from letting folks go to Bellator. I think that's the division the most where you see the hurt that Bellator.
Well, how many light heavyweights did they lose to go to Bellator?
Well, they lost two huge ones that I can think of, and one third guy that could have done light heavyweight work. I think Musashi could have done 205, right? He's fought everybody. He's like a really large version of BJ Penn, except he's still okay. He's still good in the ring.
I don't see. You know what? I don't think he saw himself winning a belt in the UFC, and I don't think most people did either.
But he could
honestly,
still move a needle. He could still, I think.
Yeah, but he wants to win a belt. So Bellator is the one place where he can go win a belt until their roster starts to get,
go buy one at Gucci,
ranked.
Man. I mean, but still, they really shouldn't have let him go, because then you have Darth Vader. Could have been you need bodies in this division. We're talking about who the hell is ranked. I mean, Little Nog is still ranked at 205. I mean, I love the Nogueira brothers, but what the fuck?
Heavyweight's worse.
Yeah.
Heavyweight is worse. I'm sure Brock Lesnar's still fucking ranked.
You know what's scary? Even worse than that is that he's still relevant. That's an even crazier point at heavyweight. Mm-hmm. He's still like an impact player. So we beat this to death. I think we both have Ozdemir. I don't know about the knockout, but I don't see Manoa having anything that Volkan.
Well, like you were saying, picture Houston Alexander.
Yeah,
he's gonna try and go for the gusto, and I think he's gonna end up getting caught with an uppercut.
I can see that. And Volkan's patient. I mean? Volkan showed last fight. He's like, oh, you want to stick your chin out? Bing, done. You want to play that game. So, I think Ozdemir takes it. Now, coming up on this card, we have a fight that I cried a little bit when it was postponed. I understand why. I agree with the reasons why. But Donald Cerrone versus Robbie Lawler. What do you got, my man?
Oh man, this is tough, because this is set to be a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's amazing. It's the second fight on the main card. Like that deserves to be like a co-main event.
Honestly. It really does.
I think it's good that Cerrone actually took some time off to let his melon heal.
Yeah. You're right.
And kind of recharge the batteries a little bit. And Robbie Lawler ended up camp jumping again.
Where did he go? Educate me, man. Like I heard. I think
he's in Florida with what's his name from the Black Zillions.
Did he really stay? If he starts losing halfway in the first round, I think Hoof might leave. Right? That's his fucking move.
I think that's where he went to. I really do. I think that's where he went.
He's ISIS in my eyes.
I don't know where Robbie's head's gonna be at. You want me to be honest with you?
That's true.
I don't know where he's gonna be at. I don't know if he's gonna be the Robbie Lawler that fought against, or it's going to be the Robbie Lawler that got knocked out from Tyron Woodley, and we didn't hear from him again after that. Like I don't know. I'm going to go with Cerrone just because he needs the shine, and I think this will help propel him a little bit in that division. So I'm going to say Donald Cerrone with one of his famous combo fucking knockouts.
the Tekken tag tournament combo.
Yeah.
Like up top, low, up top, middle kick.
And you know what I love about that? When everybody was patting him on the back for it, he's like, "Oh man, that's just a basic combo that I work on. It's just a basic combo." Oh, okay.
Basic 6-piece? Hold on. What is this Popeye's chicken? Fuck you. Yeah. That's a basic. Even in Popeyes, you got to upgrade the box to get 6 pieces.
I'm telling you.
Right? Like, I mean, you know what, though? This is one of those, I always use the hyperbole, like, this is a fight that took years off people's lives. Robbie Lawler has been around forever. He's been in some pretty crazy battles. I still remember, I was there live when Diaz knocked him out with one punch at Uncasville and Mohegan Sun, where the 10th anniversary UFC show. Like, so I don't know how much he has left in the tank. I think the Rory McDonald fight did a number on Robbie. I like that he took some time off now to find the camp, but I I don't trust the camp. I don't think he's going to be really doing too much that Cerrone hasn't seen. The only thing I think of is, Cerrone's a slow starter, so maybe you have Robbie Lawler jumping out ahead and catching him because he still has power. That's never going to leave, right, Tom? Like,
Yeah, it's. I know we say Cerrone's a slow. Well, we were saying Cerrone's a slow starter before.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a slow starter because he took a fight every 2 weeks.
Jesus
and
Christ,
he needed to
he was fighting.
Just chill out a little bit. He might come out guns blazing. I don't know.
Have you heard him being crazy bad motherfucker Cerrone though? Like, and I'm asking this in all honesty. I mean, because some of his extracurricular activities are also things that somewhat jar the brain. Wakeboarding isn't easy on your noggin. So if you're doing that to fucking unwind, and I know it's not fighting, and I know he says that during camps he no longer spars hard with headshots. But if you're riding fucking bulls and you're going on ATVs and you're doing wakeboarding and shit, you're still okay, man. So you're not getting punched in the head, but you're still getting slightly concussed.
Yeah.
Week in and week out, you fuck. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah. So I don't. Maybe I think he's gonna come back rejuvenated.
I think so too. I hope so because, like I said, I haven't heard that he's really been doing that. I mean, I haven't heard much of anything. I mean, he was on a couple podcasts this week, but I don't think he's really been doing crazy business. I think Lawler, the layoff is not gonna help him as much. The camp jumping, who the hell knows, man. ATT rejuvenated my man's career. So
he got a belt. He didn't get a belt when he was under the Militich fighting system. You know what I mean?
And he was still a killer back then. He was still, ruthless is a name not given out lightly.
He was the biggest thing in MMA at one point. There was the highest hope was for him.
They were comparing him to the Mike Tyson of MMA. I remember for a little while.
Yeah, because he was, he could hit like a truck, and he wasn't huge.
He still can. That never left. He put the pieces together at ATT. They took this, somewhat still raw dude that I think after leaving Militich kind of was like a Ronin for a little while. Even then, if I remember. Plus, and I know this. For a little while towards the tail end of that Militich fighting system's heyday, towards the tail end of it, a lot of them were kind of doing their own thing, even being under the banner of MFS is what I heard. Little birdies were telling me, where it was just we're all kind of part of the team and we fly the flag when we do, but we don't all train in the same spot anymore. We don't all live even the way we used to live together, kind of near each other anymore. So I think the camp plus the layoff with Cerrone, and honestly, I just think there's more tool. Cerrone has more tools, in my opinion. There's more power with what Lawler does, but I think Cerrone's just got a lot more bullets in his gun.
Well, yeah, because he's good on the ground just as he is standing up,
and he's a lot better kicking too. I'm me, man. I'm a super big kicking buff. I love when kicks are employed, effectively in MMA. I'm glad they're making somewhat of a resurgence, and I think Cerrone. Unless he gets into somewhat of a crazy boxing battle with Robbie, which fucking Donald Cerrone, man, he very well could get lulled into one. Yeah, he could be like, well, what you can do, I can do.
It's funny. I remember Donald Cerrone against this blonde-haired piece of shit. What the hell is his name? You know him very well. He owes you money.
Oh, Jesus Christ! That son of a bitch. I was waiting, and then you said blonde hair, and I'm like, he's gonna. Yeah, my man Voldemort. We're not gonna. I think he's fighting kangaroos this weekend. I think.
That's the Australian Fighting Championship.
Right.
What the fuck is that?
No, he's out there. If anybody's gonna be the inheritor of the Punch Me for $5 award from fucking Tommy D, I hope it's Melvin Gillard. But so yeah, and again, it was one of those weird situations, power, but there's more tools, and then submission game is always there. People, like you said, people sleep on this guy's submissions. And what I love is that he tailored his submission game to what he was nasty at, right? He got really, really good on the ground, on his back. He was like, fuck it. Wrestling's going to take too long to learn. I'm just going to get nasty stand-up, and if somebody takes me down and puts me on my back because they're tired of getting, pieced up, I'm going to fuck them up with a triangle. I'm going to fuck them up with a sweep. I'm going to learn how to do those things off my back. There's just more tools there. I see it. So I think we both got Cerrone, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So, again, but I still think it's, the winners are going to be the fans because this fight, there's no way this fight is boring. There's literally no way. This fight, I just don't.
I'm telling you, if that fight is boring, I'm shutting it off. I'm shutting off the event because I'm not watching the rest. If that fight is boring, I'm shutting it off.
It's cursed if that fight is somehow boring, right? So another fight that promises pretty much supreme levels of violence, where if we were watching the same events in a non-fighting context, we'd have to call the cops or be implicated in crime.
Be on World Star.
It really, honestly, man, we would have to be. It's Tanya triple threat, thicker than a Snickers Avenger versus. I mean, there's got to be high topped fight kits even for the ladies. I'm sorry, I can't. It's just the disparity here. It's just looking like a lioness versus, Pumbaa. Like, bro, Tanya Avenger. I know I'm going to get flack for this because I'm body shaming, but god damn it. This is a mismatch. I'll say it's a fucking mismatch because one of them has better abs than I'll ever have in my lifetime, all right? And I was born with testicles. Okay, and the testicles were goddamn it. But they never gave me those goddamn abs. Chris Cyborg versus Tanya Avenger. Sir, take it away.
Do we really even have to comment on this? Like, what's gonna happen?
She could have the Iron Man bodysuit on her, right? And I still think Cyborg chips it away and punches her in the head. She could pull a Michael Chandler, break her ankle, but I still think she wins the fight somehow. Like, I just don't. I heard. Have you heard rumors as to why Megan Anderson was pulled from the fight? It said personal issues, but
that's all I heard was personal issues.
I heard it was some visa business. Little birdie told me we're gonna, might be breaking news, but I heard that there was something going on with a visa, and it was, as you and I both know, you can't lie on official documentation. I've tried. It's failed. And I think it also failed.
What the hell did she lie on her documentation about?
I haven't gotten like a legit whatever about, but I feel like it was something. It was something where, you could probably put the pieces of the puzzle together, man. I mean, the only things you would lie on a visa about are like criminal history or, like maybe drug related offenses or, I don't know, you were part of a Black Panther movement back in the day, if there was one in Australia.
I don't know. I have a passport. I never had a problem.
Yeah, no, I just think, thank God. I mean, I'm telling you, I got one before I started being a naughty boy, and they didn't take it away from me, so that's good. Although if I rock with a beard and I'm Omar, I mean, I might get taken away. There it is.
There's that line.
There's
that line again,
bro. It's bad. I should just go naked to the fucking airport at this point. Here's all my electronics. I have transparent bags. Like the bags.
Yeah, you should try coming to the airport with me if you want to laugh.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you also get pulled aside in terms of?
Because my legs set every machine off.
Oh my Lord!
I have to go through the X-ray thing all the time.
That's amazing. Yeah, and which is crazy because I have pins, but you must have more metal in your leg than I do.
I'm Full Metal Alchemist over here.
That's it, yo. And you know what? That's a nice little segue. She could come in with some Full Metal Alchemist type powers. She's still not beating Chris Cyborg. All right,
no.
Yu-Gi-Oh could fucking ride with her. Okay, the No Limit Soldiers could show up with a fucking tank. She could be driving it. I still have Chris Cyborg in the second round. There's no way.
Yeah, it's not even like this is. You talk about lack of depth in a division.
They should just give her
I mean,
Gabby Garcia open weight. Let's just do this. All right, come on, just fuck, man. I mean, I'm saying, and just make it an MMA fight. Fuck it. I know they train
I
together.
like,
but I don't
like
care.
everybody's so high on Chris Cyborg, but it's just like it's like the 15-year-old that got held back for 7 years, and he's he's in fucking. Yeah, he's in 5th grade playing on like the 5th grade fucking basketball team. You know what I mean?
She's pulling a Dominican Little League.
Yeah.
Is what you're
Yes.
saying. If you look at her passport,
Yes.
if you look at her birth certificate, she has
It's
three
a
children.
piece of paper. It says "I am 12" on it. That's all it is.
Yeah. No, she's
Like in the
bringing
bench
her
warmers.
kids. She's bringing her kids to the game, and she's like, "No, I'm 14, bro." Like,
Yeah, like this is so stupid. Like this fight is so stupid. It really is.
I'm glad she's on a card where you have a bit of buzz. So hopefully, but I heard on
but if Cyborg runs through her, what's it going to be for her then after that?
Have her go to Australia and beat Megan. If Megan can't get on a plane with a passport, make something happen in Australia.
Have her go fight Melvin in Australia?
Yeah, and I have Chris Cyborg winning that fight. Sir, okay, better ground game first and foremost, and I think it's a toss-up with the striking now, because if anything, he's gone back a step with all the stuff he used that $500 on. I'm gonna leave it at that because I'll get really, really terrible. So, but you're right about that. Who the hell does Chris Cyborg face? I don't know. I think we're gonna see the closest thing to actually seeing like a Mike Tyson type situation. It's not going to be Buster Douglas. I don't think Tanya Evinger's nickname is Buster.
I hope we're wrong. I hope Evinger just somehow pulls off like a cartwheel kick and just kicks her right in her horse jaw.
And that is quite a carrot chomper. I mean, that is a strong ass.
Remember Ren and Stimpy?
Oh, yes.
Remember the horse? No, sir. I don't like it. That's her.
Yo, Tanya Evinger could have Log and come out with Log and actually hit Chris Cyborg in the head with it, for fuck's sake, and throw her down a flight of stairs. I still don't see this fight going any which way, but with Chris Cyborg. And like you said, have Holly move up? I guess. Megan Anderson. I was excited for that one. I was. More so than this. Kudos to Tanya for taking the fight, though. I know I've been ragging on you.
She's getting paid. She's probably getting paid.
I hope I hope they're backing up the Brinks truck, because you know what? Like we just spoke with Lawler and Cerrone. This might be one of those fights like the Rory McDonald Lawler fight where it takes something away from you in a permanent fashion. I think this could be one of those.
Well, look at what's her name that never fought again after she lost? Gina Carano.
Yeah.
She's never fought again.
Yeah, and that's me saying that if I fought Chris Cyborg, I might never fight again. You know what I'm saying? Like I might give up jiu-jitsu just so that nobody gets any mistakes and thinks I'm a tough guy after being beat to shit. I think she could beat me up.
You'd have PTSD. You'd flinch in your sleep.
I would. I'm gonna be like Major Payne and just be don't try to sneak up on me. But so I think we have that one steadily in the bag. Chris Cyborg. By anything she wants, honestly, Christ.
Yeah.
So co-main event time.
Chris Cyborg by dicking.
Chris Cyborg by fucking existing at this point. Like it's just gonna be such a mauling. Unless.
And when she's done, she's gonna lay her cock right on her forehead.
Oh wow!
I had to.
Oh my!
I had to.
You really had. Yo.
I had to.
Chris Cyborg by teabag. Jesus. Okay, man. This is not a Halo 16-on-16 tournament, all right? We're not just Anywho, co-main event time. Woodley versus Maya. I'm super excited about this fight, man. I'm beside myself. Who do you got?
Really?
Hey, man. We've been called racist recently.
Everybody who's been listening to our show knows I'm going with my man Maya. There was only one time I never rooted for Damian Maya, and that was when he got beat by a sunken Chris Weidman.
That
was the only time.
And that was Weidman gained a fan for life. For me, at least.
I think Tyron. I don't think he's underestimating Damian Maya because he knows he's tough. I just don't think he's going to be able to handle Maya on his back. And if Maya gets his back and he's holding him there, you know, for a couple rounds, Woodley's going to get frustrated and he's going to make a mistake and Maya's going to capitalize on it.
I got you.
Maya has that like annoying jujitsu, you know, like when you watched him with that fight with oh God, what the hell's his name?
What the
his last fight?
No, his
last fight.
Masvidal.
Where he just sat on Masvidal's back the entire time. Masvidal knew he couldn't do anything with it. Tyron's going to try and bull rush out of it, do whatever the hell he can. You know what I mean? Because he's going to get annoyed and pissed off. Because watching it pissed me off. Because I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, that would have me so fucking angry.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I would have to like try and poke his eye out to get him off my fucking back. Something. Spit in his ear. You know what I mean? Like spit in his ear, do something.
That's he's got ear shields on at all times. And take a look at those things. They're 3D. They're car doors that are open, bro.
I mean, the only thing that scares me with Woodley is the boy can strike.
Yes, he can.
That guy can strike.
Let's not throw boy around.
God, I fucking hate this shit. Yeah, that's right. And I forgot who we're talking about here, too.
I'm telling you.
The dude can strike.
NAACP just sent us a letter. It was in teletype.
Oh God.
I have to print it out.
Yeah, he can hit hard.
He can
you know, and his wrestling is really good. I don't think he's going to be so quick to try and put Damian Maya on his back because that's just, you know, that's putting the goat. That's putting the goat in the Tyrannosaurus Rex cage just let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's figure this out, right?
Yeah, so he's going to, you know, Tyron's going to probably use his distance and try and jab straight Damian Maya's face off, but I think Maya's going to get inside. And I think Maya's going to be able to put him away.
I like it. I think Masvidal, this is crazy. People are going to call me a wild man, but I think Masvidal was a harder task for Damian Maia. Here's why. Because I think Masvidal, you said that Woodley wasn't underestimating him. I don't believe he's underestimating him, but I do know that, you know, a man that serves, you know, two masters, and again, Jesus, I just fell into the fucking racist thing. But I'm trying to say his focus is divided. He's doing a lot of press. He's still doing the analyst work, which great. I'm all about fighters
and his podcast
and the podcast, which is, you know, what Morning Wood with these nuts. Like,
Morning Wood. Yeah.
It's
Dean Thomas.
Phenomenal.
It's a good show too. They're funny.
They are funny.
They're funny.
Dean Thomas is a funny sound. Like, you can put Dean Thomas in it. Like, he could be a stand-up dude. And Tyron's no slouch either. The two of the banter is phenomenal. However, I think
anybody who gets a tattoo on their arm that says "Matt, I won," it's just yeah,
you're committed. You're all in, right? It's like the neck tattoo.
Yeah.
But I think Tyron's got too many irons in the fire. It's my same concern with, again, the next fight, the main event that we're gonna go with. I could really see Tyron pulling, like you said, getting frustrated and trying to do one of the, like, I'm gonna fall on my back sort of escapes, which Maya is gonna be like in his own mind, cackling hysterically because he's like, yes, thank you, this is what I wanted. You know, try that escape, try that bullshit with a jiu-jitsu master. And see how quickly you get choked out. We know what he's going to do. We know what he's going to try.
Yeah, his game plan is the same for everybody that he fights. Well, now that he's not trying to be a kickboxer.
Thank God. And that's, I mean, I don't think he's going to go back to that plan because, oh, Lord in heaven. But he's one of the few guys that I see apply fucking deep half well in MMA. Like, he can pull deep half on somebody, and he's good enough to sweep them, get on top of them, then get their back, and make life a living fucking hell. I think he's going to find a way. And not to mention, I know Tyron's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong, but Maya's the dude who did that weird-ass, like, foot trip lateral drop on an Olympic-level wrestler, in my opinion. Again, Chael Sonnen, for fuck's sake. And that was USADA Chael. Or pre-USADA Chael, right? That was supplements Chael. So
yeah,
he can throw. If Woodley doesn't mind his P's and Q's, and if he gets tired, I can even see Maya actually taking him out in the later fights. And I think that could very well be part of his game plan, even being the older guy. Wear him out.
I think this goes into the fifth. I do think, if there's going to be a finish, it's going to be a finish in the fifth. Because if, as you saw with Woodley fighting Thompson, he just wants to stay on the outside now. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to engage. Now you have Damian Maia, he's going to engage, but he's not going to strike to engage. He's just going to look to find a way to get on his back.
There's going to be a lot of case.
So yeah, I think you're going to see the first maybe 2 rounds of Tyron kind of on his bicycle a little bit, trying to maybe infuriate Maia to make a big mistake.
I wouldn't blame him though. Like if you're in a cage with fucking Damian Maia, are you looking to do anything, short of shaking his hand, getting close?
No, because as soon as the ref says, "Are you ready?" As soon as he says, "Let's fight," I just go down on one knee and just start tapping the mat.
Yeah, I'm done. I want all my limbs, man. I want to drive away. I want to be able to remember shit. Like I'm good. I want to write my name and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm telling you, I think it's Maia's time. I think he's got. I'm so glad too that he persevered, because he had a campaign at 185 and he is a little older. I get it, but I'm so glad that he stuck around, got to 170 and said, "Fuck it, I'm making another run," and they finally gave it to him. Okay.
Well, now here's my question to you: if he wins, does he retire that night, or does he defend the belt once and then retire?
You know what I would love to see as a tactical battle at this stage in both their careers? You know where I'm going with this. I know you know where I'm going with this. I want to see Damian win this and then battle the new school jiu-jitsu craziness that GSP seems to be taking a shine to, up there with your boys, with the Danaher Death Squad. That, to me, would be a phenomenal matchup and would cement either one as one of the greatest champions we've ever seen at 170. I know GSP already has that title, that mantle. He's one of the best, if not the best, at 170. But if he would be able to come out of retirement and somehow be the guy that gives Maia trouble at his own game, my head would explode. I would just be like, holy shit. But if conversely, if Maia was able to put him away and be the guy that, finally put that blemish at one back on his record, Maia would go down as greatest of all time, or at least the greatest ground fighter.
I don't think he'd go not as the greatest of all time if one title defense. He's up there. That I could see that being his last fight, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah,
against GSP, because the money would be unbelievable for him.
Money would be great. I think, what I also love for that fight for both of them is I don't foresee like too much crazy head trauma for either one of them. If anything, Damian might get his snapbox rocked, because I think the better striker and also the better ground striker would be GSP. Right, I think he'd be, he'd be looking to do more shots. It almost seems like sometimes Maia doesn't try to hit you when he's on the ground, which I love jiu-jitsu and I love what he's doing. It's kind of whatever, it's like an artist at work, but that bothers me. I don't know if it bothers you, but if you're
I like the saying where it's you strike to pass, you pass to strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what, man? As much as it might annoy you, it works for him.
Right? Yeah. Fuck me. That's 100% correct.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right? What if he had tried to strike against Masvidal, and that's what Masvidal used to get up and then, tattooed him? Like
Masvidal would probably have dropped him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or even strike on the ground side, and give up position. That might have been the opening that poor Jorge needed to fucking be like, oh, thank God, air. I'm above water.
Yeah.
Jesus. So
there's a lot that they can go with him if he wins. Now, where does Tyron go if he loses? Does he stay in a division? Does he maybe go up?
Yes. 185. 185, without a doubt. I know he's been champ at 170. I don't know. I see. What do you see as exciting matchups for Tyron at 170? Like if he stays, aside from obviously a super fight that everybody would be like, oh yeah, your boy Connor could come back and be champ. Like no,
I don't even think anybody cares about that fight anymore.
No, and I think they buried the hatchet theoretically in the back. So I think it was one of those, hyping it for hype's sake. But Tyron, I like Tyron more at 185. As crazy as it is, just to see more happen. Just to see more happen, honestly. Just
more depth at 185.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it would be great. And it's not as though he'd be crazy undersized. I think his power would still translate. Has he? I think he's fought at 185 before, yes? Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I want to say outside of the UFC. I think outside of the UFC, he fought at 185. If not in
Strike
the UFC.
Force, he was welterweight. I know that.
I want to, for some reason. Maybe, honestly, it very well could be that he's so jacked that I'm just like, yo, he looks slightly like.
So, he did, get dropped by Nate Marquardt in Strike Force.
But that's nothing to be ashamed of because once upon a time, Nate, it was almost like ships passing in the night. His prime and the big surge for MMA just didn't quite sync up because Nate was a bad man back in the day. So
yeah, he was great in Pancrase.
Yeah, and a lot of people were, and they're some of my favorite fighters. Yours as well. So well, who knows about that, right? We're talking about crazy outside promotion. So shout out to who. But so I think we both have Maya. Gonna be an exciting fight regardless. I think it's gonna be a tactical battle. But I'm pulling my heart and most of my brain still. This is one of those weird ones.
You know what? And I'm gonna say this right now. It's for everybody listening, it's probably gonna be fucking boring in the beginning.
Yeah.
So don't start booing and all that other bullshit. It's gonna be boring in the beginning.
Please don't do that. I'm telling you.
It's just how it's gonna be. It's gonna be boring.
Yeah. I try to be PC and say tactical, but you're spot on, Tommy. It's gonna be a little bit of a snoozer at first, at least.
Because the casual fan's gonna be sitting there. Oh, what the fuck is this? All they're doing is fucking grab ass. And, read a book on jiu-jitsu so you can actually learn what Damian Maia's trying to do. You want fucking knockouts, watch Lion Fight. This is not a fight where you're going to be seeing these guys trying to knock each other out.
And not to say that, Lion Fight's not a viable...
No, it's great. But if you just want to see knockouts, you need to watch something like that.
Exactly. And speaking of books on jiu-jitsu, that's one of the first ways that I learned a Kimura off of Henzo's Mastering Jiu-Jitsu. That was my first big... So... Henzo's book on jiu-jitsu might not be a bad place to start. Honestly. Yeah. It's still a Kimura I go to, the way he does it. Anyway. It still is, bro. I'm telling you. I have it I'm looking at the bookcase. So, co-main is done. Now, on to the fight that, could still very well be canceled. We never know. Tommy, what's your gut telling you? Okay.
I'm not going to be canceled.
All right. Even if they pop for anything at this point right now, right? They're still going to at least have the fight.
It's going to be afterwards, so I don't care. I don't care.
So
it's been 2 fucking years. This fight needs to happen.
I swear to God, it's like that lady you've been scheming on in high school, and finally, you guys are going to prom, and finally we're gonna get a chance to do this thing. Who do you got? DC versus John Jones.
Oh God, I don't know. It all depends on which John Jones shows up. John Jones versus OSP, DC will be able to outpoint him.
Yeah.
But if it's the John Jones that fought Shogun that first time, I think he's going to be looking to beat the shit out of DC. I don't know. I'm so torn on this fight.
This is tough.
You know what this fight honestly is? This fight scares me because of the anticipation. Because of how long we've been waiting for this rematch, ever since John was blowing his snot box on some fucking coke and running over pregnant bitches, and DC gets the fucking belt, and then John Jones comes back.
That fight. Like,
John Jones comes back. They're gonna fight, and then he takes a cock pill because his dick is too big, and for some reason it can't get hard, so he needs the cock pill to get it hard. And then he ended up getting
hard on. That's how big. That's how big.
I mean, he ended up getting busted for that. So that was you're talking 2 fucking years. These two have been going at it on Twitter. I just can't wait for it to be over, so we could just stop talking about these two. Because that's shit for the division. It's all you're talking about is these two. That's it.
It was such a logjam that it forced Anthony Johnson out of the division. I think that had something to do with it. It really, I honestly, no. I
just think Anthony Johnson's a head case. He's a head case.
I think he's a head case, but I also think he's a head case that could have knocked out John Jones. I fully feel like if you put, I mean, if Anthony Johnson puts hands on a koala roided out on Winstrol, he's going to knock out that said koala. Koalas get brought.
Oh, but he gave DC his famous shot, and DC came back and ended up beating him twice.
You said the head case. You said the head case, and the head case is what happened. All right, let me tell you, he had DC nearly dead to rights in that second fight. That kick. He tagged him up a bit with the hands, and then he started wrestling. I don't want to go so far. I don't want to say fix. I really don't. But he lost. Anthony Johnson lost. I think it's one of those situations where I would have loved to see him versus John Jones. I'm pissed as a fan that this is not going to be happening. That being said, this is crazy. You're right. OSP Jones is kind of bummy. Let's just say it flat out. People on blogs, people on Facebook are trying to say, hey, you're shitting on OSP. Don't give him enough credit. No, bro. John Jones is a dude that was doing things to people when he was coming up that were fucking unheard of. All right? Like, I know
what he did to Shogun.
Jesus
what
Christ,
he did to Shogun was criminal.
It really fucking was. Even Machida, though. Like, remember the Machida fight where he just choked him out and then let him fucking drop like a sack of goddamn, half Japanese, half Portuguese potatoes, like, or whatever, mangoes, or whatever the hell they, bamboo pears. He just dropped him, right, with a nasty bulldog choke. Gets his arm ripped off by, a black belt. Yeah, by a black belt with a lineage that's legit. You and I both know. That fight teams, that black belts, he never used it. It's one of those guys. It's like he had it as like a hood ornament.
He never had to.
Yeah, because he had hands and also TRT.
Yeah.
Another thing. Speaking of TRT, dick pill is my ass. I stop. I would almost prefer him to come out and say, "Hey, listen."
Well, I mean, they did test the dick pill, so I guess it wasn't wrong, but. It's just so funny that a 20-something-year-old guy has to take a fucking cock pill. I can't.
And let me say that was one of the best responses. Cormier sometimes needs the mic taken away, but when he says, "At least my cock still works," like that's never not a burn. All right, between two men and two competitive males. One of them admittedly like, yo, I need help in the department. For me, that tells me that he was willing to suffer that that harassment, that embarrassment to cover something else. I know they tested this. I know this, that, and the third, but I'm getting super, to steal Schaub's phrase, super skeptical hippo eyes to the dick pills. I just am, bro. Like, and you know what? Like, it's one of those things where you get together with your legal team, you get together with everybody, and go, okay, listen, how can I get out of this? Well, feasibly, the dick pill could have had something, but you're gonna have to admit that your dick wasn't working, and you're 27 years old. But then the alternative is that you were fighting on straight up juice. Through some of one of the most torrid, if not the most crazy run of any combat sport athlete in a while, especially because of the Shogun feather in the cap, because you go back and you go, MMA math notwithstanding, Shogun had a crazy run on one evening, and then John Jones did that to Shogun. That's crazy.
It was bad. That was bad.
Fucking nuts. But
the thing that makes the John Jones dick pill thing really sketchy is Brock Lesnar got popped for the same thing. They both got popped for the same exact thing.
And you hear Brock Lesnar even intimating that his dick doesn't work?
No.
No. He's telling us about how he's going to fuck his wife after wins. All right? He's going to go up and mount his wife after having a Budweiser.
With Joe Rogan, he's just filled with all this Viking cum. Brock Lesnar is just.
I'm telling you, he really. I think he feels that the same people that built like Gobekli Tepe impregnated Brock Lesnar's parents and gave birth to that half alien Viking god. But I mean, and you watch the Rogan podcast the same as I do. If you see the look that Rogan was giving him, like, yo, my dick is too big. Rogan's like, what? Hold on. Right, he's looking over at Jamie. Jamie's probably doing like, fuck, I heard it too. Like, no. So
Callan was probably in the back like, oh my God, his dick is huge.
Holy oh, man. And Carl, too, apparently. Callan and Carl, I think, if they got together, would probably Dutch rudder the shit out of
I never heard anything like that before in my life. No. I never did. I was hoping that he was joking, but I don't think he was. No.
So, my man, you were on juice for a little while, which is whatever. I don't think it gives you the skill that he's shown. I think it enhances stuff, obviously. It lets you train differently. The X factor you brought up is something I'm going to piggyback off of. And what's that X factor? Jiu-jitsu. John Jones was whooping people's asses with like no jiu-jitsu, according to him, right? Like, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to give this a try. Blah, blah. You're giving an artist. It's almost like, you took Picasso and he never knew the color blue, right? And he's still painting up a fucking masterpiece after masterpiece. Suddenly you're like, Pablo, come over here. Here's the color blue. What the hell do you think an artist like that's going to do with that? I know, other folks were saying, that might hurt his fighting style. Get the fuck out of here, right? You're giving this dude a whole nother set of tools in the hurt business.
And he had a year and a half
of just focusing on
just jiu-jitsu.
Obsessing with jiu-jitsu. And this the type of obsession. Like, remember we were talking to Curtis Blaze last night, right? And he was talking about being a JUCO wrestling champion. That's nothing to laugh at. You know why? Because who the fuck else was a JUCO wrestling champion? My man, John Jones. All right.
I missed that part last night.
Yeah, he said that. And that's why I perked up and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's got some potential. We all knew that.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. No. Hey, easy, Tiger. But I know what you're trying to intimate, and I agree with you. But we're trying to keep it. We're friends of everybody show here. But John, I think he's one of those weird athletes that once he gets obsessed with something, it's gonna be. I think this is the closest we're seeing right now to like, what if a Bo Jackson had done MMA? Like one of those guys that just picks everything up quick. Maybe not the raw athletic talent because, Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson. But, and I try to make the Raiders reference for you, brother. But I think John with jiu-jitsu, bro, it's like it really is giving an artist another set of fucking tools. And if he didn't have it before and now he does, right? And what he did to Cormier before, I don't think Cormier's going to have something to answer to that. There's going to be positions that
I'm not used to a jiu-jitsu driven John Jones, so I'm very interested to see what he's going to do with it.
Black Damian Maya, for all we fucking know, right? Like, I mean,
the thing that worries me with that is, I know he's been doing that, but is he gonna want to stand and bang just to punch Cormier in the face?
I think so.
I think
But there's positions
Or
that
will he
Cormier's
let
gonna have to
Cormier
defend.
take him down? What about will he let Cormier put him on his back?
No, I think, as much
Well,
as you're
dude,
gonna
you got to
love,
remember he's a long, lanky son of a bitch.
I totally I get that, but I still think there's the whole you're an Olympic wrestler. I'm gonna take you down because I own your soul, a small piece of it. So I
Yeah.
still think that's gonna be a factor. I think the striking with length, I have heard on other shows that one of the factors is the whole like hand open thing. Might still be a situation. It's in California. You have to watch out for these new rules. We really haven't seen and you really could kind of say it's the John Jones rule, where if you have your hand open, you got to have it facing in a magical position where you're not going to brush into
I don't
your
understand
opponent's
why your
eyes.
hand has to be open when you're going for like when you're judging the distance though. I never understood that.
A jab is a fucking jab, right? What, you're going to add like 3 more inches? I guess, right? Maybe. Are you really just? Is it that much of a distance game that you're trying to play? My jab worked. My teep worked. Right? He has that oblique kick. He uses that as a rangefinder, doesn't he? Like, what the fuck?
That I could see getting outlawed very soon.
What, the teep or the
No,
oblique
the
kick?
oblique kick.
Yeah. I mean, and for good
I could
reason.
see, I think Boss Rutan has said it himself. I could see somebody's knee getting fucking blasted if it gets hit in the right spot.
If it hasn't happened yet, the MMA gods are working on it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So don't try to tell me that, I still remember Corey Hill's like fucking doing a spinning rainbow around that poor bastard, the guy that kicked him. Remember good old Corey Hill? Jesus, he was a giraffe. And his fucking leg did a samba dance, and not to mention, it was fucking terrible. It was one of the most, I know the more famous one was obviously, Chris, the leg devastator Weidman versus Anderson Silva, but still.
Well, no, they had the kickboxer one. The one that was the kickboxer.
Oh,
he was
God.
a white dude.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, you're right. Or remember Pele Landy Johns back in the day? We're going back in the day, and it was some grainy-ass video. And that happened to him as well. And I think that was the final nail in his career's coffin. He was an older gentleman by that point anyway, a legend of like the, no rules, no nothing background,
Yeah.
But his leg got destroyed in much the same fashion. But regardless, I think I see Jones as having more tools, and part of me wants him to win because I'd like to see him step up and have that crazy debacle fight against Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry, but I do. I really do. And I hope they're both.
That fight with Lesnar will happen whether he has the belt or not.
It'd be so much better if he does have the belt, bro. Wouldn't it be? Like, wouldn't it be that he just had that extra?
Why?
Because it would have that extra cha-ching. He would leave a division undefeated. That Matt Hamill, whatever. You know how I feel about that Matt Hamill fighter, right? He busted the voice of God back into Matt Hamill's dull skull. But, I think with that belt, it just becomes, there's that luster. He moves up, never lost the belt. And what if he makes a serious campaign at heavyweight, which I think he can, because the Lord knows he can add mass in the leg department.
I don't think he beats Stipe.
I don't know, man.
I don't think he beats Stipe.
I don't think he's going to go running at Stipe with his chin out, like my man Fabrizio. But then again, who should? Nobody.
Yeah, right? I don't see him. I don't see him beating Stipe because I think Stipe has a hell of a lot more tools than Brock Lesnar has.
Yeah, that's for sure. But other people in that division, I still think that like we were talking about at the earlier part of the show, it's so thin. Those two divisions that I really could see. And who the fuck knows? Aren't they going to add maybe like in between divisions soon, or down the road? Like
165.
165. I also heard 225 was a potential, and they are fighting in California, and that's where they first bandied about this set of ideas. So every 10 pounds, that's another weird situation potentially.
Great. So we're gonna get 5 million fight nights, and they're all gonna be for. What are you gonna name those divisions? Junior heavyweight, fucking super duper fucking flyweight. Like it's gonna get you something like boxing.
One of them needs
Doing
to
it
be
just
gangster,
like fucking boxing.
gangster, just in honor of Chael Sonnen. One of them has to be, I think, like probably the 225, or maybe like 165. Let's call it like just something crazy. But
That makes sense because of the jump
jump's
from
great.
155 to 170. So that makes sense to have 165.
But also, but bro, come on, man. The 205 to 265 jump doesn't. There's got to be some sort of delineator there too. That jump is fucking bananas.
Yeah, but there's not that many guys that are 265.
Hey, Jimmy Ambrose was 270. All right, Ron Waterman was
Ron Waterman.
290, and he could have had Emmanuel Yarbrough was 200.
Now like those real big guys, it's they're fighting in Japan.
Or they become O linemen, as they should.
Yeah.
Because there's more money in it. There's less fucking beating.
Well, you're probably making just as much money in Japan, if you stay there long enough because they like freak shows.
Yeah. Bob Sapp. I was talking about him
Yeah.
today, as I do talk about him almost every day.
How that guy's still fucking employed is beyond me.
Bro,
but
I'm telling you, he's got a good union representation. He's got SAG. That's what it is. He's an actor. And the Screen Actors Guild gets some jobs.
yeah.
For fuck's sake, recording star Bob Sapp. But I think we have right. Sapp time. It's Sapp time. But we have all the fights squared away. I'm excited. It's gonna be a crazy night of action. We also have this weekend. We have Tyler King, friend of the show, Pride Rules sponsored. Tyler King.
Pride Rules sponsored.
I'm telling you, I love it. Watch out for his our logo, the very legible logo on his shorts. Hopefully, he puts a beating on somewhat of our enemy, but not.
Hopefully, it's on the banner too.
I think it will be on the banner, sir. But if it's not, then we'll still get one of those sweet ass pictures where he's starting, like where everything's visible, and then maybe hopefully one with Amir Ali Akbari's blood on there. It could very well happen. There are soccer kicks. So that's going to happen. My jiu-jitsu coach, Mike Wacker, is grappling tomorrow against Diego Sanchez. I think tonight we have glory fights. Or no, lion fight going on. Lion fight going on tonight. It's a wild.
And Saturday, our buddy Eddie Gordon has a jiu-jitsu super fight against Chris Cope.
That's going to be interesting as all get out, dude. Like, dude, this weekend's absolutely jam packed. Plus, we're gonna have him on. We're gonna have him on the show Monday to discuss his victory with regards to said super fight, super match versus Mr. Cope. You also said that you were gonna was that the announcement you were gonna make with the super fight?
Yeah.
At the end of the show. Okay, good. So he's got a couple of good causes that he's putting out there. The Sober House.
Yes, I definitely want him to talk about that.
Yeah, dude, Truck is just he's taking the baton and running with it. I mean, he's doing his social media game's on point. He's a tremendous personality. I love talking to him. I can't wait to talk to him again on Monday. But big things are on his horizon, man, and I'm excited to see a good guy doing well.
Yeah. Hopefully, he could give us a little dish on when he's going to get back in the octagon and fight. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm excited. I have a feeling.
Why he was kept off the Long Island card, I would like to know. Why he didn't get to fight on the fucking finale, I would like to know.
That's a crime. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, he should know. Maybe he needs to give Ozdemir a call. Right? Because apparently Ozdemir has some weird voodoo in the background that boosts his stats, in non-game time environments, man. Like it's serious. I don't know. It's like NBA 2K 2017. Like he's boosting his free throw shooting when he's not fucking playing a game. I don't know what's going on, but Truck definitely should have some sort of insight. I'm excited to hear back from him. Was I missing anything? I really don't want to because we have a ton of stuff going on.
We have Brad coming back on, but we could talk about that. Yes. We could talk about that next Friday.
Yep, next Friday we have Mr. Brad Desir is going to be joining us in August. I mean, we're ramping up. Can't believe it's the end of July, brother. We had guests on every Monday.
Yeah,
we're going to try to continue that trend. And if say one of those weeks we don't, We can always break down the events. And you know what I love? I'm going to break the streak right now. But what I love is that this entire vidcast, we did not mention a certain boxing match with regards to its impact.
I'm not going to mention it. We're not going to mention it. We're going to keep it. We're table it. Table it.
I'm so happy that we got through an entire time talking about MMA.
Yes, because we have an entire month to talk about it.
Yeah, we do, and it's gonna be exhausting. Oh, and also, I mean, for the boxing heads, tomorrow, Broner versus Garcia, right? Unless
I don't know. I'm focused on UFC 215. That's where my focus is.
But there's boxing heads. I still, we have a couple. I think Broner's gonna be facing against Garcia. That's gonna be tremendous. It's gonna be on Showtime. I think it's gonna get shit ratings. I hate to say it, because they have the UFC that they're fighting against. I think hopefully the UFC brings the heat, gets everybody paid, especially Evinger, because she's going in for as a samurai. They're setting her up anyway. So, without further ado, that's us for this weekend, Tommy, unless I'm forgetting something. So with that being said, thank you to our sponsors, 80K Fightwear, Madama Jiu-Jitsu, and Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, as well as the 2-Minute Warning Group. On Facebook, on Instagram, you can find 2MW. You can find us everywhere on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. So for Tommy, TRT Tommy, and myself, Omar, the joint manipulator, El Professor, we'll see you next week, next Friday, and next Monday with Eddie Truck Gordon. Take care.